how exactly I got the best sleep of my life and lost 100 pounds in 5 months. Everyone wants to talk about the gym. Everyone wants to talk about the chicken and the broccoli. But in the last 5 months, as I dropped 100 pounds, I realized that those were just tools. If your body isn't in a state to use those tools, you're fighting a losing battle. I spent years trying to grind my way to health on 4 hours of sleep and a gallon of coffee. It never worked. It wasn't until I fixed my sleep that the weight actually started falling off. Today, I'm breaking down exactly why sleep is the ultimate biological cheat code and why, if you're ignoring it, you're essentially trying to build a house on quicksand. Here's the absolute most important reasons why sleep is the foundation of everything. Let's talk about why sleep was the catalyst for my 100 pounds lost. Most people think that weight loss is just calories in versus calories out. It is not. It's a hormonal game. When you are sleep deprived, two things happen to your brain that make weight loss nearly impossible. First, ghrelin spikes. This is your hunger hormone. It's the voice in your head at 11 p.m. screaming for pizza or ice cream or sugar. Second, leptin crashes. This is the hormone that tells you that you're full. When you're tired, your full switch is broken, but it gets worse. Lack of sleep makes you insulin resistant. In just 1 week of bad sleep, your body's ability to process blood sugar can drop to the level of a pre-diabetic. Your body stops burning fat and starts storing it because it thinks it's in a state of emergency. You aren't lazy, your hormones are just hijacked. We often overlook sleep because we think it's downtime. It's not. Your brain is actually incredibly active while you sleep, but it's doing a very specific job, cleaning. Think of your brain like a high-end restaurant. During the day, you're cooking, you're serving, you're making a mess. You can't scrub the floors while the customers are there. Sleep is the night shift. The glymphatic system is your brain's waste clearance system. It literally flushes out metabolic toxins, specifically a protein called beta amyloid. Why does this matter? Because beta amyloid buildup is the primary marker for Alzheimer's and dementia. When you skip sleep, you are literally leaving trash in your brain. That brain fog that you feel the next day, that's not just tiredness, that's a dirty brain. One of the hardest parts of losing 100 pounds wasn't the physical pain, it was the mental discipline. And science shows that sleep is the gatekeeper of your emotions. When you don't sleep, the connection between your prefrontal cortex, the logical part of your brain, and the amygdala, the emotional reactive part, is severed. You become 60% more emotionally reactive. This is why you snap at your partner, why you give up on your diet after a stressful day, and why everything feels too hard sometimes. Good sleep gives you a buffer against the world. It's the difference between seeing a challenge as a hurdle versus seeing a challenge as a wall. To lose 100 pounds, I needed a brain that could say no to the cravings and yes to the workout, yes to the salads. I only got that brain after 7 to 8 hours of rest. Finally, we have to talk about recovery. You don't grow muscle in the gym, you actually tear it down when you work out. You tear it down in the gym. You grow muscle while you sleep. This is where growth hormone is released. If you're a man, the vast majority of your daily testosterone is produced during sleep. If you're cutting your sleep to 5 or 6 hours, you're effectively operating with the hormone levels of someone 10 years older than you. Whether you want to lose weight, build muscle, or just have the energy to play with your kids, sleep is the only time your body actually repairs the damage of the day. You can't supplement your way out of sleep deficit. There is no pill, no powder, and no pre-workout that can do what a REM cycle does for your cells. The 100 pounds I lost started in the bedroom, not the kitchen. It started by respecting my body enough to let it rest. If you want to change your life, if you want the best sleep of your life, stop treating sleep like a luxury. It's a biological necessity. So in the next part of the video, I'm going to show you the exact sleep protocol I used to optimize my environment and get those 100 pounds off. These were the 10 things that I did to improve my sleep hygiene and make the perfect sleep regimen so that I was ready to have a good, deep night's sleep every single night. The first thing I did is I stopped drinking caffeine after 3 p.m. So it was easy for me because I would take my pre-workout in the mornings because that's usually when I worked out. But I love tea. I love green tea. I would drink 3 cups of green tea throughout the day. But the switch that I made was I would have my last cup of green tea, which effectively would be my last dosage of caffeine at 3 p.m. And then I switched to decaffeinated green tea for the rest of the night. Caffeine has a pretty long half-life, so you gotta make sure that if you wanna go to bed early, if you wanna get deep, restful sleep, you gotta stop caffeine at least by 3 p.m. The second thing I did was I stopped taking super fat naps in the middle of the day. Now, power naps, sometimes you might need them. A little nap here and there, you might need it, especially if you didn't get good sleep the night before, or you just had a really long stressful day or multiple stressful days. Taking a 20-minute nap or even a 30-minute nap isn't the end all be all, and sometimes it can be very beneficial. But sometimes in the past, I would take like an hour or a 2-hour nap in the middle of the day, or maybe like at 4 p.m. It would basically make falling asleep at night so dang hard. So that was the second thing I stopped doing, taking fat naps in the middle of the day. The third thing I did, because I didn't want to wake up in the middle of the night to have to use the restroom, I stopped drinking any fluids, any water, any drinks of any kind after 7 p.m. That was basically my cutoff because I did not want to have to get up in the middle of the night to pee. The fourth thing I did was I made sure that I was comfortable and cool. Being cool is extremely important for your body to fall asleep. I love being in a super cold room and then throwing on a nice big comforter. It's my favorite thing in the world. So make sure you're comfortable, make sure you're cool. Use your ceiling fan, use your standing fan, use your air conditioner, use whatever you can do to stay cool. The fifth thing I did was I made sure that I darkened the room as much as I possibly could. Close all the blinds, turn off all the lights, any LEDs from anything at all that was in my room, I would either unplug or I would put tape over so that I wouldn't have any light in the room. Being in darkness is super important for your body to understand it's nighttime, let's go to bed. And if all else fails, if you can't do that, buy a nice face mask. I don't really like wearing things on my face when I fall asleep, so I try to just darken the room as much as I possibly can. But if you can't do that, face mask is nice, and there's always nice comfortable ones. All right, this one's a big one, and this is probably the one that was the hardest to do. It was silencing my phone and literally putting it in another room because I had a bad tendency of always wanting to check my phone, always wanting to watch a couple more YouTube videos, always wanting to check social media a little bit more, check that notification, check that work email, check that DM, whatever it is, it always distracted me. And no matter how much you set the blue light filter to turn off or whatever, that thing is not only a distraction, but that light emitting into your eyes is messing up your biological clock and your circadian rhythm. That was a huge one. Taking my phone, putting it on silent, and literally putting it in another room. All right, the next one is I started my sleep routine 30 minutes earlier than I normally would. So if I'm trying to get to bed by 10, I would start my routine by 9:30. I would brush my teeth, take a shower, wash my face, turn off all the lights, do all the stuff I just talked about 30 minutes earlier than I expect. And believe me, it'll help you. It'll help you get to bed early. The next thing, which I talk about in my supplements video, which I'll link in the description and maybe put a little title card here as well. Glycine, 3 grams of glycine, as well as magnesium. I personally take magnesium L-threonate and magnesium glycinate. Glycinate, I'm not sure how to say it, but I would take 2 different forms of magnesium with 3 grams of glycine. The magnesium calms the brain down. I have a lot of brain chatter. I ruminate, I think all the time. I just constantly am thinking about everything, and magnesium really helps calm my brain down, as well as the glycine. Not only does it lower core body temperature, but it also helps calm the nerves, calms the muscles, calms the brain. So those combination with a little bit of water, perfect. And I would take that 30 minutes before I plan to go to bed. And then also, especially if I was eating pretty light that day, I don't want my blood sugar levels to crash in the middle of the night and then wake up because my body just shot all of this adrenaline and cortisol to wake me up because my blood sugar was crashing. So if I didn't eat a huge dinner, which usually I try not to, I would have a half a cup of non-fat Greek yogurt, sprinkled a tablespoon of chia seeds for the fiber and the fats, and then a little bit, like a teaspoon of peanut butter for protein and fat. That little meal's like less than 200 calories. It keeps my blood sugar stable throughout the night. Just a nice combination of good quality protein and fats. And then the last thing I did was I literally turned my clock away from my face so that I cannot see it. Because if you're like me and you wake up in the middle of the night, the one thing that I do every single time and it ruins it and I cannot go back to sleep is I look at the clock. I'll look at the clock and no matter what it says, it stresses me out. If it's 3 a.m. and I woke up, it's like, oh my gosh, why am I waking up at 3? If it's 5 a.m., it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta get up soon. If it's 6 a.m., if it's 2 a.m., if it's 1 a.m., it doesn't matter. Whatever time it is, when I look at that clock, I'm stressing. So the last thing I do at night is I literally turn my clock away so I cannot see it. So those were the 10 things that I did to ensure that I got the deepest, best sleep every single night, so my body had a chance to clean up and repair all the damage from the day. I'm actually testing out a new supplement right now. DoNotAge.org was kind enough to send me a free sample. I'm not sponsored, I'm not paid by them or anything like that, but I do want to disclose that it was free. But what's great about that company, which I absolutely love, is they always reinforce that try the product, really give it some time, and if you don't see any results or you don't like it, don't lie, don't make crap up. And I would never do that to you guys. It's a combination of magnesium and other things. I'll make a more detailed video on it because I'm halfway through testing it and I just want to do a thorough test before I give any opinions. So far it's been really awesome, and I've been replacing my magnesium L-threonate supplement at night with that one. I'll make a separate video on that to do a more thorough review on that supplement. But anyways, that was exactly how I was able to get the deepest, best sleep that helped me lose 100 pounds in 5 months. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.